1042. Call right now.
That's right, baby. We are back, and you're listening to the Original Sports Show, and I'm your host, Leopold Jeans, the Big OG, broadcasting live here on CRN Digital Talk Radio, baby. That's right, my engineer Matt, keeping the show hype, keeping it hot, and doing what we do best, baby, spitting that sports fire. Ha 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 ha. Woo, right. Shut the front door. That's how we do on the OG Sports Show, baby. We keep the show hot, we keep it hype, and Carmageddon can't keep us back. Nothing can stop us. Nothing can stop us. We're going to keep rolling and doing what we do best, baby. We're going to take it all the way to the top. You know what I'm saying? 1 hour at a time on the Original Sports Show, baby. 1 hour at a time. Yeah, we had Carmageddon out here in L.A., and they thought they was going to keep the Big OG from making it to the studio on time, you know. But, you know, I'm a former Marine. I'm prepping. I'm ready. I'm ready for anything. And you know what? Life's all about preparation. If you know there's going to be an issue, leave early. And that's what I did. I left an hour and a half early, and I made it right on time, baby, right on time. And before we left out that last segment, we were talking about the NFL, and we were talking about the new offensive coordinators and teams that are undefeated and the teams that are struggling and the parity of the NFL and why it's so great. You know, you have all these guys. There's no New York Yankees in the NFL. You don't have one team on top buying everybody out and doing all this, you know, negotiations and having the best top players. They're all good. They're all good in the NFL. And, you know, Josh McDaniels, the new offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots, has the Pats sitting on 1 and 2. Todd Haley, the new offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers, has the Steelers sitting on 1 and 2. Nobody's expected that. You know, and it is early in the season, but I do want to note that these two guys, two former head coaches, you know, and they're offensive coordinators, you cannot have an ego bigger than a player if you're a coach. And I say that in all sincerity. You can't have an ego bigger than a player if you're a coach. And that's pretty much what I'm saying here. You know, Todd Haley, I don't like how he's handling Ben Roethlisberger. Forcing him to not make plays, not forcing him to not play football the way he's played football his whole career, which is by, you know, making things happen however they can happen, however they're supposed to happen. If you got to step out of the pocket, step out of the pocket. If you got to run a bootleg, run a bootleg. The guy's made a living off that, and he's won off that. Todd Haley's insisting that, you know, Ben goes through his progressions, looking up and down the field from receiver 1 to, you know, 2, 3, 4, XYZ, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, Ben's the type of guy, he's going to overcome that and just play his game. But Josh McDaniels had some very suspect calls for the Patriots. You know, people are figuring out the Patriots. You know, Wes Welker's no longer the short white guy popping up out of nowhere making plays. Players are paying attention to him. They're D'ing him up. They're jamming him off the line. And I had, you know, Brandon Lloyd. You forget the Patriots got Brandon Lloyd. Oh, they finally started using him last week. This guy's a tremendous receiver. Had a great couple years over in Denver with the Broncos. Big time playmaker. You know, there's little things, but you got to utilize all your players. You can't just go to one guy all the time. And a lot of things Josh McDaniels has done in his career have been questionable, from the Tebow trade to what the play calls from last week. I mean, here's a guy that gave up everything for Tim Tebow. He gave up Jay Cutler. He's got sent to the Bears, who was a premier quarterback, by the way. He gave up draft picks, first-round draft picks for Tim Tebow. He's fascinated, you know, by Tim Tebow. So, you know, you look at Josh McDaniels' history, and the guy's an extremely irrational coach. You know, he swings from the hip. And I just want to note that, because these are the things that are going to come back to haunt you in the NFL. A game that's all about the attention to detail. A game that's all about doing everything the right way. And look at the poor New Orleans Saints, man, my guys. People are calling them the Aints again, sitting on top of 0-3. And who would have thought they would have lost to the Kansas City Chiefs last week? But little did we know that Jamal Charles is balling lights out. You know, the guy busted for 233 yards on 33 carries, averaging 7.1 yards per carry. You know what that means? That means Jonathan Vilma needs to get his job back and get back on the gridiron so that he could stop that. And, the Chiefs exploited that. They ran all over the Saints. The Saints without Sean Payton is like losing your daddy in a drive-by. You know what I mean? They need Sean Payton. Their daddy got gunned down by Roger Goodell, in a drive-by. They need him. They're not the same. Drew Brees cannot do the same thing without his head coach, Sean Payton, there. And this is clearly evident. Clearly evident. We can see it. There's a difference. Sean Payton called those offensive plays. He made all the difference. He knew how to exploit those defenses. He knew what to do at the right time to get his team to take advantage of a defense. And Drew Brees can't do it by himself. He can't call these plays. That's why you need a head coach. That's why you need a daddy. Young boys need a daddy out there to show them how to do it. And losing Sean Payton is like losing your daddy in a drive-by. That's something I tweeted earlier in the week, and I got a little bit criticized for it. But, I don't care. I'm just saying what the truth is. Now, the players are back. A lot of these players that were on that, bounty scandal suspension are coming back. Goodell's ruling was overruled. And my big question is, Sean Payton going to come back? I want to know that. Why is he suspended for the year? Roger Goodell, though, his micromanagement of the NFL is unparalleled. And if you go to ogsportshow.com right now on the front page, you'll see our OG poll, and it asks that question. Is Commissioner Roger Goodell's micromanagement of the NFL good or bad for the NFL? Give us a call. Let us know what you think on that. Is Commissioner Roger Goodell's micromanagement of the NFL good or bad for the NFL? I personally think he needs to let these coaches manage their teams and handle the attention and detail instead of sitting in your office watching replays in slow motion and finding people left and right every week. It's a whole different game when you're watching a play in slow motion, when in reality these guys are going 20 miles an hour and they have split seconds, less than a second to make decisions. The game is a violent game, and it's supposed to be played a certain way. But I'm so getting tired of, players getting hits in, and just because the hit is loud or just because the hit, it looks weird, they're getting flagged. I understand you want to protect the players and all that stuff, but this is the NFL. It's a man's game, baby. It's a man's game. And like Paul Rodriguez said in DC Cap, because it's tough to be a man, baby. Because it's tough to be a man, baby. Paul Rodriguez, DC Cab. If you don't know, check it out. We got to keep that rolling. And also, looking at how the original sports show is sponsored by House of Ink Tattoo. House of Ink Tattoo, located in 2 locations in Venice, 1313 Oceanfront Walk and 8 Brooks Avenue, on the corner of Brooks and Oceanfront Walk. So, when you're in Venice looking for a tattoo or piercing, come to the House of Ink Tattoo. Ask for Sean and tell him that Leopold sent you, a.k.a. the Big OG or OG Sports Show, and get 10% off. That's right, 10% off when you tell them OG Sports Show sent you.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner from Quicken Loans. Today's interest rates are the lowest that we've seen in generations. The rate today on a 30-year fixed mortgage is an amazing 3.5%. APR 3.81%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN. We'll help you keep more of that hard-earned money in your pocket where it belongs. Maybe that's why for the 2nd year in a row now, J.D. Power & Associates ranked Quicken Loans highest in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination in the nation. Here are some of the reasons why. We close many of our loans in 30 days or less, and we provide you with industry-leading online apps designed to guide you through the loan process with speed and ease. Again, today's amazingly low rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage is 3.5%. APR 3.81%. So give us a call today at 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN, or visit us at QuickenLoans.com and find